So, if you want to build wealth in 2026, you need to understand something right now and the shift that is happening. And I'm speaking to a lot of young people out there, and I see a lot of young investors that are trying to do better, get out ahead of what's coming. We are entering right now one of the biggest technological shifts in modern history. In fact, we only see this very few times throughout our history. We go through these big changes. And if you go through history, you have things like the agricultural era, the industrial revolution, the internet boom, and now we're in this era where AI is reshaping industries. It is changing everything. We're in this space where crypto is slowly integrating and blockchain into financial infrastructure and systems. Robotics is advancing faster than most people realize. Energy infrastructure, part of this AI build out, is becoming critical. And there are entire new industries that are being built right in front of our eyes. The problem is most people are distracted by what I call short-term noise, while some of the biggest investment opportunities are just going right past them. And there's still time. But you have to listen to this entire video to know exactly the blueprint, to be prepared, and to be positioned for this next decade and beyond. So, in this video, I want to answer one simple question. If I were starting investing from scratch in 2026, or a young person looking to start today, what would I actually do? How would I go about this? And honestly, I think this approach could dramatically change your financial future. So definitely take this serious because there is no time to waste. And you can have an entire new future 10 years from now if you just understand how to play this game and where we're heading. So, first off, I want to mention this is not financial advice. It is simply a framework that I would personally use if I was young, hungry, and trying to build long term wealth starting today. And honestly, I myself am deploying this strategy right now. I'm somewhere in between young and old, I guess. I'm 36 years old. So I think even if you're in your 40s, you could take this, but especially if you're in your 20s, I mean, you've got time on your hands. And most people think investing is about getting rich quick. We've been told like everything needs to happen right now. It's not about this. Now, the people who build real wealth usually do three things: they invest consistently, they stay well diversified across many different sectors, and they position themselves early in massive long term trends. Those are the keys right there. Be consistent, stay diversified, and be early and position in long term trends. You do not need to perfectly time the market. You do not need to find the next Bitcoin every single month or every single year. And you certainly don't need to gamble your entire portfolio on one stock. You need exposure to the future. You need exposure to what's working. That's the mindset shift that I want to talk about because 2026 is different. I genuinely believe we are entering a completely different economic era. Think about what's happening simultaneously. I mean, all of these various things that are happening right now simultaneously. You've got artificial intelligence transforming productivity. You've got robotics replacing manual tasks at a rapid rate. You've got crypto and stable coins, which are modernizing finance and changing everything we know about payments. You've got energy demand, which is exploding from AI data centers in the semiconductor space. You've got autonomous systems that are advancing rapidly. You've got space infrastructure, which is becoming very, very investable. And then you've got tokenization, which could move trillions of dollars on the blockchain. This is not normal market activity. And it feels much more like the internet in the 1990s, mobile phones in the early 2000s, and cloud computing and social media in the 2010s. But now all of these technologies are colliding together at once. This creates an enormous opportunity, but it also creates a lot of confusion. So you have to be careful in who you listen to because most people are chasing headlines instead of actually understanding the big picture here. So, personally, my core investing philosophy, if I were starting today, I would focus on building a portfolio around growth, diversification, and long term conviction. Most importantly, I would try to avoid trying to get rich overnight. Social media has completely distorted investing. People think that they're not making, if they're not making 500% on their trade in 2 weeks, that they're failing. That mindset destroys portfolios and you end up chasing. Instead, I would focus on owning a lot of various pieces of industries that could dominate the next 10 to 20 years. Because the biggest money rather, is often made by literally just finding trends early, staying in those, and holding through volatility. That's what Amazon investors did. That's what Apple investors did. That's what Nvidia investors did. Most people sold too early. They panicked. They got shaken out. So, how would I allocate my entire portfolio? If I was building a portfolio in 2026, I would structure it, and this is how I've done it. I would structure it like this: 40% core long-term stocks and ETFs. I'd own S&P 500 exposure, NASDAQ, AI infrastructure companies, semiconductor leaders, cloud and AI data center plays. I'd be heavy there, about 40%. Because whether people realize it or not, AI is creating a massive infrastructure boom. And it's not just about ChatGPT and these large language models. AI requires a lot. It requires chips, memory, electricity, cooling, networking, data centers. And there are tons of stocks in and around these areas, which we'll be highlighting more and more on this channel. Entire industries are benefiting from this right now. And that's why companies connected to the semiconductors, power infrastructure, networking, AI memory, utilities, that's why they're booming right now. Take a look at Micron. Take a look at Nvidia and AMD. Take a look at GE Vernova. Take a look at Vertiv, VRT. The AI build out is going to last a lot longer than most people expect. The question is, can you stomach the volatility? Can you stomach little swings on the charts? Now, again, personally, I'm also into crypto, okay, and heavily into Bitcoin. I think it is a scarce asset that is going to perform exceptionally well in the long term because crypto is no longer just speculative internet money. I'm waiting to kind of see how the dust is going to settle with altcoins, but specifically, we're watching Bitcoin ETFs, stablecoin adoption, tokenized assets, institutional adoption, and custody, and then banks integrating various blockchain technology. And there are a lot of ways we can get exposure to the crypto market without buying singular assets, like Robinhood stock for me, Coinbase stock, getting exposure to the actual, place where these trades happen because volume equals money. These are why these companies are doing well because they offer stocks, they offer crypto, they offer futures. You could trade gold, you could trade silver. I would focus primarily on Bitcoin and Ethereum if you're just getting started in the crypto market, then smaller exposure to higher risk projects tied to AI, tokenization, infrastructure, interoperability. But I would never over allocate here because it's very volatile. Crypto can create massive upside, but volatility matters. And that's why diversification is crucial here. Then I would look at robotics and automation, humanoid robotics, automation, AI driven manufacturing. This industry could become massive over the next decade, and I think it will. Think about the labor shortages that are happening globally, aging populations, warehouses, logistics, healthcare, manufacturing. Automation's coming everywhere, and it's coming for everyone. And so that's where I would be looking. Companies building in robotics infrastructure, sensors, AI systems, autonomous technology. There's going to be a lot of massive winners here. Then I would look at energy and power infrastructure. Most people do not realize how much energy AI requires. And this is why energy stocks have done exceptionally well over the last year and a half. Data centers are consuming unbelievable amounts of electricity. So, utilities, nuclear, grid modernization, energy infrastructure, these are phenomenal investment opportunities. And I don't think it's going to slow down or stop. The market is slowly realizing that AI needs electricity and they need lots of it. And so the demand is just continuing to rise. Then I would start looking at emerging technologies. space infrastructure, biotech, quantum computing. I'd make this about 10%, in addition to energy and power infrastructure, about 10%. So, quantum computing, cybersecurity, defense technology. Not every company is going to survive here, but some of these industries are going to be enormous. And these emerging technologies, I think, could be phenomenal. Then I'd also reserve some cash. Cash is a position. Opportunities always appear during volatility. If markets crash or correct, you want buying power. Young investors often underestimate how valuable liquidity is in order to get back into your high conviction names at lower prices. And I think the biggest mistake young investors make is people chase hype instead of actually learning what they want to invest in long term. They buy random stocks because somebody on TikTok said it was going to 10x. That's just gambling. Real investing means actually thoroughly understanding what you invest in, following the trends, fundamentals, risk management, positioning, sizing, consistently investing. It's just all about being consistent. And again, in conclusion, if I were just getting started in 2026, or if I'm looking to build a new portfolio for the future, I'd focus less on overnight riches, less on emotional trading, and way more on consistency, keeping a diversified exposure portfolio, long-term technological shifts. What's happening? Blockchain, AI, energy infrastructure, robotics, space exploration. The future economy is being built in real time. AI, crypto, robotics, energy, automation, space, digital finance. These are not temporary trends. Find your favorite names in these areas. This is going to be your high growth, high upside chance over the next decade to change your financial future. If you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Share this with someone interested in investing. And also, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite plays are right now in your diversified portfolio. Appreciate you all for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.